Hey, Tom. Hello, can you hear me?
All
I don't
right,
know.
we are live.
Okay. Can you hear me,
You're
Tom?
on the air. Get a little more volume.
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yeah, one sec. I got to shut down something else.
Okay.
And I did. Okay, beautiful.
Good. I can hear you. Great. Oh, Tom, I've seen your name for years and years and years now. It's so neat to finally get to meet you, put a face with the name.
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of credit for your website as it is. I've been harassing you for years to get, dude,
You
you got to,
have.
yeah, and
Oh
you've
my
done a lot of
gosh.
good work.
I remember
It's a
there's a
real,
lot of hard requests I've done for you. What's your favorite one that I've done for you?
uh, without question, the best one you did was Angie. The
What?
Angie
Oh, Angie.
was
Okay.
beautiful, and because it's exactly in my mind what your product is all about. Because so just to give you a little bit of evolution before I
Okay.
go
Go
there,
ahead.
right? So like I always tinkered around with the piano. A little kid, my grandfather was a big, that left hand going left and right. He
Yeah.
could play that ragtime kind of honky tonk stuff, and it was great growing up with music and fooling around. But never got serious with that. Played guitar. I learned my 20 chords so I could play campfire music or any song I wanted. It's a three chord kind of song, four chord
Uh-huh.
song. But the guitar, they were ahead of the piano teachers in using the internet. They
They
had
are.
great websites,
They're still ahead.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they are still ahead. That's a fact. But I didn't care to be. You have to know who you are and why you're in music. I'm doing it for myself, and I have a job, kids, and blah blah blah. It's on the back burner. And then at one point, I wanted to get good at guitar. I would lock the door, got in this office. I would spend 7 hours a day for all 3 days of the weekend.
Yeah.
Just digging in one song at a time. And then all of a sudden, you realize, wait a minute, they're all related. They all have the same kind of moves, the same kind of bend, the
Sure.
same kind of feel. And next thing you know, instead of taking 3 weeks to learn a song, you learn it in 1 week. And now all of a sudden, you learn it in a day. And now if I'm
Right.
driving home and hear it on the radio, I can play it, right?
Sure.
The piano, um, then going to you, I always do a root, a third, and a fifth, and I just bang out a octave with the left hand. I'm happy.
Hmm.
But for you, without going through the torture of learning to read sheet music too well, um, you can do the fills,
Yeah.
and the fills are everything to me. Like I even now, like I get sheetmusicdirect.com, musicnotes.com are the great resources. You can pull up the sheet music to any song you want,
Hmm.
but it's not what you hear on the radio, right? It's not
Right.
those little fills inside of it. And I try to get my brother up here play guitar, and I play piano. Well, both of us playing chords sounds like crap, right? You got to learn how to play. So Angie, the long-winded answer to me is in
Yeah.
Angie, it's just phenomenal. All the little fills, all the little trills, the run-ups, and everything. It's a fantastic piece of work. It's the epitome of what I think that you've done for me.
So Tom,
The
what do
other
you?
one, yeah,
I got a question for you here. What?
yeah, yeah, sure.
So you mentioned that the sheet music wouldn't have all the little fills and everything. Why do you think that is? I have my own guess on why that is, but why do you think the sheet music, when you go to buy it, doesn't have it like the album?
Yeah, I don't. I tell you, I don't really understand it. I don't have a major. I just assume that it's a simplistic bang out the sheet music. The record company owns the rights to it or whatever, and they put out basically a bunch of chords. They have the notes of the melody,
Sure.
but not the little like for instance. And I beg you, and I know sometimes it doesn't work for your website, right? You have a mass audience that wants to learn to play the actual song.
Right.
But I'd rather have a guitar player playing and me doing some of the stuff. So all the Marshall Tucker stuff,
Yeah.
that's a great indication. Like that stuff has those nice little what you call the country thirds in it, and that those kinds of fills
Yeah.
just man, they make you excited to exactly. It make you great. It's great sounding stuff. I don't know why the sheet music doesn't have it. It's bizarre.
I have
What's
I
your
have
theory?
my opinion on that. I think that, but I do feel for all the people who start keyboard lessons because they want to play the stuff you're talking about. And so they go through all of the London Bridge and, Little Red Bird and all these songs. They're trying to learn how to read sheet music. And they finally get to a place where maybe they can get it. They go buy the sheet music and it's nothing like what Billy Joel does or or Marshall
Exactly.
Tucker, whoever. And I think it's that way because if they actually did it in sheet music form, it would be too confusing for the masses. They want, the most people to buy
Absolutely.
it. And if you put it in that form, the masses can't consume it.
That's a
And so,
great that's a great point. They
yeah,
can't consume it, and are you doing them a service, right, or a disservice? You want
right,
people to play, right, and
right.
also, I mean, that's like
Yes,
Rachmaninoff, right? Like he's fantastic, right? But when you look at his sheet music, everything's a double sharp. I mean, come on,
right.
I'm just looking, read
Yeah,
a third, a fifth, and the octave. It's like,
right,
then I'll
right.
fill in some stuff in the middle, right?
And
Yeah,
what's funny is Rachmaninoff and Liszt, as complicated as that looks, that root third and fifth is still in there. They just have a different way of
exactly,
getting there. They'll have,
exactly.
yeah. So
But
if
I
I
think
took a
that's part of
chord
the
and I went,
challenge. Yeah,
that's a chord. You're just playing the half step before each note. So it's in there somewhere. The root third and fifth is in
it
there
is.
somewhere. You just got to dig it out.
I have gone on the journey, post working with your website and learning the 25 songs I wanted to play. You just, and that's a great way of learning. You just the I'm blanking out. It's a method of learning.
The tablature
You'll
system or
know
the
it as
system? Yeah.
no, you'll know it as soon as I bring it up. The Japanese
Okay.
fella
Suzuki.
who wanted to teach Suzuki method, right? It's like music's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be
Yeah.
a group, right?
Yes.
Not alone getting your knuckles rapped by some blue-haired old lady because you missed a note
Yeah.
on a run up, right, in your scales.
Yeah.
And so to me, once you start having fun learning, pick 4 songs, 5 songs, and be diligent about it. Just work through it, and you do a great job. Which I find annoying now, right? As you advance, you find annoying, but taking it measure at a time, just
Sure.
painstakingly do a measure perfectly, slowly, until it's part of your DNA. Right? Then go
Sure.
to the next measure, and then the next one, the next one. You can learn anything that way. I don't care what it is.
You
I don't care
can.
how complicated it is. If you put the time, effort, and take one measure at a time,
Yeah.
I really feel confident I'll learn any song I want to play
Yeah. Or
perfectly.
any craft you want to learn, any skill.
Well, that's true
It's
too. That's
the way
well,
of life.
except golf because that's a different. That's a whole different thing. No
Yeah.
one can get good at golf unless you're born playing it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
I wanted to ask
but
you, you
yeah,
are
got
you're a music reader, so you can read music. If you have to, you can
now.
read
Yeah,
it. What? You can read
I
music,
can
right?
no now. I'm saying now. Originally,
Okay.
when I started with you, I so actually I had done what you do in a modified way. I'll get a piece of sheet music
Sure.
that I can read, but I didn't. I'm not taking lessons, so I don't just watch and
Yeah.
play at the same time. Painstaking. So what I would just do is, oh wait a minute, that's the G. But
Yeah.
like I would put
Sure.
by hand 3 or 4 notes, not the whole chord, because I didn't need it. You could see the spacing, and you just
Yeah.
bang it out like that. And then you did it that way. Although I will say, thank God you fixed it because at the beginning, that bottom left to top right was
Yeah.
really confusing. You know, and,
You know why I did that?
and I'll give. Yeah, I know why you do. You said at one point that you'd rub out
Yes,
everything if you
I'm
try
an
to go.
upside down lefty. Yeah, upside down lefty.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
And
What I
I
was
give you
getting at is
kudos.
you read
Yeah,
music, and I
good.
wanted to see how. I wanted to ask you since you can read
Yeah,
music.
sure.
Um, Looking at my tablature, did that immediately click for you? Was there a learning curve? Did you go, "What the heck is this?" at first, or how did the transfer? How did my tablature system?
No, the tablature right away. Anything I knew, I threw out
Uh,
about reading notes. I looked at your tablature. It can't be easier. The thing I give you kudos for, which took a while to get, is the dot to dot.
yeah,
Like you don't have the normal spacing. You don't have a coda back to coda. There's no.
sure,
It's like all that stuff. You got pretty creative on trying to
yeah,
tell people where to go and where to end, which
right,
is very easy and intuitive when you know the song. But if you
yeah,
don't know the song, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. But that there's no reason to get stuck. on reading sheet music. Get playing first, right? I
Right.
think that's what you give people, right? You just get them playing, and then they will.
Yes.
And
And Tom,
that's part
I've
of the
never
Suzuki
told
philosophy.
anybody that
Yeah, yeah.
I
Go ahead.
never told anybody that reading sheet music is or reading is a bad skill or it's not any good. I mean, out of everyone that I've taught, I'm probably the best reader, because I'm a very good reader myself now. I wasn't a long time ago. It's just a different way to do it is all. So I'm not, putting down reading sheet music. If you're going to learn that skill, go ahead. In fact, I've got, 100 sight reading lessons on the website as well to teach you that skill. It's just a different way to do it for people who need that way. Because I think it'd be better for you to learn to play and have fun a different way than to do it the way the society tells you have to do it. And then, if you don't do it, then you don't get to play at all.
Shawn, it's exactly what I was getting at with the Suzuki method. The whole point of it is if you teach a kid to play and have fun,
Mhm.
eventually he'll beg you for music theory and to go further because he's limited. But if you try to teach him theory right out of the chute, you lose him. How many young people pick up guitar and still play it? I'm
Yeah.
going to say 85%. How many young pianists keep it throughout their life? Probably the opposite, 15% or
Yeah.
25%. I'm like, that
Yeah.
cost of the method of teaching, frankly, turns
You're
them
right.
off.
You're right. And you were right about
But
guitar being ahead of the curve there. And for whatever reason, maybe it's just the nature of the instrument. I don't know. But for some reason, for piano, we're stuck in this, 17th century way of doing it, which worked
yeah,
for then and still does work today, but not allowing another way to be accepted because there's other ways besides my way. We have to
there's
allow
no
that.
elitism. Guitar is a rock instrument. There's no elitism there. There's no,
Yeah.
this is the way it has to be. Every guitarist has their own style. You got crazy people making their own guitars, Brian May, whatever. And it's like, in piano, if you don't do it the right way, you are looked down upon as an interloper. Yet, I
Oh my.
guarantee, the Tatums and all those guys, I guarantee they weren't taking classical music. They're fantastic jazz players, right? So who knows?
Yeah. And
Um,
I even had a little bit of that snootiness, because I went the classical route, and
yeah,
for 30 years, that's what I did. And then I started being educated by you guys. I was studying to be part and practicing to be a part of the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition in Dallas. And I just finally said, you know what? I hate this. I'm not having any fun. I'm only as good as my last performance, and I'm trying to beat all these Russians and Chinese who come over here, and they've been playing since they was 2 years old. And I just got to where I hated it, and I quit. And so I went the total opposite direction. I said, I'm going to learn how to play rock music. And I eventually started the website, and then you guys, with your requests, have educated me for all these years on good music. So the whole library is filled with stuff you guys have hired me to do, and I've got to learn it myself. And I'm still being educated by you guys. But every song that's in there is something that is unique because you guys couldn't find it, so you asked me to do it. So it's already a unique thing that you can't get anywhere else on the internet. So I love the library that's on there. I wanted you to speak to that. How do you feel
yeah.
about how much is
I
on there and what's on there?
Well, I'll tell you right now. Well, now it's ridiculous. And actually, I was even thinking, as your advisor and second in command outside of your family, you could. I mean, first of all, you resisted, and it's probably a technical issue. I really love the idea of putting them on, um, listing the songs
Uh-huh.
chronologically when
Yeah.
they were put on. If I could just sort, because then I could see the last 20 songs that you put up. Oh, I didn't know he did that one. Wow, that's awesome. I know you try to put it in a email format at the top of the website, but
Right.
that's gone in a little while. So I don't know what I've missed that's come up in there.
I want
But
to
away
do
from that, I
that,
mean, it's
Tom.
chock full. The other thing you could do, though,
Yeah.
frankly, especially for the 5, 6 big piano names, Carole King, Elton John, Billy Joel, blah blah blah, Stevie Wonder.
Sure.
You should just put the album listed as the, because you have almost all the Goodbye Yellowbrick Road album on there now. That's a
Sure.
double
Yeah.
album, and I
That's
believe
right.
I can't believe some of the songs you got on there. It's like,
Yes.
wow. You won't find the sheet music for some of those, right? And like you just did, Blues for Baby and Me, I guess is like, that's, nobody's gonna have the sheet. I don't think so. Anyway, I haven't looked
Yeah.
for it, but these are off the runs, you would call them, or the back burner.
Yes. Well,
The one thing
Tom,
I
I
was
haven't
surprised to
worked
be
on
you. Yeah,
anything in 18 years. I've only just put up lessons. I've never worked on the business side. I've never tried to really do all these things you're talking about until now. That's part of these testimonials. I have some business coaches. My wife has a great mind for organization, so that's something she wants to do. These packages with albums, so we have that in the works. Having a place to organize, to sort the songs by date added is something I've always wanted to do. So you're mentioning all things that we have that we're working hard to
Yeah,
get
no,
done.
I sent that email to you 10 years ago, probably,
Yeah.
but I'll give you one suggestion on that point, which is
Okay.
just the ultimate win-win. You get a local college kid or someone in the music school
Uh huh.
and make them an intern, offer up an internship in your local area, wherever you are. I don't know, somewhere in Texas, I know, but um, they dive on that, right? They get to work with you. They get to do the stuff they know. They know the internet really well and stuff like that. And you have someone that could, I'm sure, listen, day-to-day life is busy and you're trying to work
Yeah.
out of your home, which is has its own challenges. Everybody learns. So you get an intern, they'll do it for next to nothing and get the chance to kind of work with you. It's a big win. I'm going to do it for trading, frankly.
We're laughing here because
Um,
my son's kind of my intern. He's my 19-year-old who's a genius
yeah,
at making thumbnails. He's coming in and overhauling my YouTube channel and keywords and all of that. So he's kind of my intern. He gets free room and board. So
but yeah. Eventually, they become helpful. Those guys, right in the
yeah,
beginning, you're dragging, but
eventually,
now they start to. But eventually, they start to become helpful, which is not
yes.
bad.
But I am
Um,
excited about finally doing some of those things you were talking about, like you said 10 years ago. Yeah. So I have all
I
these
was
people pushing me
surprised
now.
actually on your question about the music itself. I was surprised often, like I suggest a song to you, and you had either never heard it or didn't know the backstory. And some of these are monster hits. I know we had
Yeah, I
uh,
know.
a back and forth on "God Only Knows" by the Beach Boys. Like that is Brian
Yeah,
Wilson's greatest song
yeah.
ever, right? And it was a big thing with him and Paul McCartney in competition. Paul was
Hmm.
sick to his stomach when he heard it because he's like, I am way behind this guy. I got to giddy up, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like, but things like that are just, when you play the music, it's fun to know. Um,
Right.
look
It is. And
at the end of the day, you know, if you're looking, from my experience, it couldn't have been a more positive, thing. I joined up Lifetime, I don't know how many years ago, and I barely use it now. But I
yeah.
do. It was the platform that launched me into doing a lot of different other things with music, and I do go back there constantly. When I say barely use it, I can't sit through a whole lesson. It's just going too slow for me at this point.
Uh
But
huh.
those PDFs, the
Yeah.
PDFs that you have on there, golden. That is gold because now you can come and get the whole thing in one spot,
Yeah.
bang it out, and refresh. To your point, those
Yeah.
little fills
Well,
and
Tom, you've
everything
gotten
like that
better.
is.
You've gotten better, so you don't need as much of that
Yeah,
old.
that's it.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm taking it slowly to the next thing of reading the sheet music and learning
yeah.
to do it right. And sometimes it's fun to go down the classical route. You have a ton of classical stuff, but I can't go back now. You know what I'm saying? I can't go
Yeah.
back and read that now. You can only gotta your mind only has to work one way or the other. Uh,
Yeah.
but what more could I say? That the website has been a boon. I can tell you right now, I would not be where I'm at right now in music and including guitar without the website. You know, I'll say a root third and a fifth, and then all of a sudden on a piano, you're like, wait a minute, that's what they mean by flatting the
Yeah.
third. Right, that's what a minor chord is. Okay, now you can see it so much better
Yes, you
visually on
can.
there. I'm like, okay, I got to play an E minor, blah blah. Okay, but on the piano, you're like, oh my God, that's so simple, right? And it just opens up a whole nother world, even for the guitar. Although who invented the EG, you know, EAGPT thing is
I don't know.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It
How did
makes
that
no
evolve?
sense. It makes no sense the way they put those strings in, but here we are. So anyway,
Yeah.
listen, go ahead. If you got anything else to ask, I can't say it was just fun catching up with you and having a
Well,
two-way
there
rather
were
than
these
being
questions at
dictated
the
to.
end I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, anything you got. Go ahead. Anything.
They'll go really quick, and it might feel like you're repeating
I
yourself
think
just a
we
little bit.
filtered them in here, most of them.
Yeah, you did. So, and they can be
Okay,
quick answers if you want. That's fine. Just from our
no problem.
videographers, they wanted them in one place. So, what is your name and
Okay.
where are you from?
I am Tom Canale, and I am in the New York tri-state area. We'll say. I always say I'm a New Yorker, but you know, as you get older, you move to the suburbs. So I'm in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Right. And how did you originally hear about my website?
That's a good question. I think it was random YouTube
YouTube.
scrolling through YouTube for piano lessons. Probably you
That,
probably popped up a nice little title and threw it in there.
that's everybody else. What did you like most about learning from my method?
Well, there's no question. There was not a necessity of a ton of prep work, prior knowledge in music, and you get straight to the songs you want to play. And some, not even, I'm not going to say in a basic way. Some of them were very basic, and you start out with those, and that's great. But it's without that tedium of having to learn scales and chords and measures and key signatures.
Sure. All right. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
Haha. I think I kind of answered it
Yeah,
just
you did.
now,
You did.
but I will throw in, but throw in the fact as well that the fact that you do take requests from the group, from your rush, is a huge difference maker. Because I mean, it is great when you go to some online teacher now, which there weren't a lot of them back when you started. But if you go to an online teacher, they will do some great tutorials on a song or two or three. But it's a random outcome if it's something that you have any interest in playing sometimes. So I
Yeah.
think that feature alone is a winner. Plus, you do have classical, pop, rock, and sheet reading music, right? So you got the whole montage in there.
Awesome. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
Yeah, and in all honesty, I am at a 10 with the lessons. The satisfaction on the website itself has grown over the years as
Okay.
you
Right.
continue to improve the website. But
Sure.
but the way, yeah, I mean, those first when you every once in a while I'll pull up an early one, and it is such night and day from one of those early lessons, with you in there in the dark and trying to do the
Yeah.
scratchboard to where you're at now. It's been an amazing evolution. Although I would have whipped you into it a little. If I was in the same state, I would have got you there faster. That's
Okay.
that's
It sound like you sound like a business guy. You get in there and take care of everything. Yeah. So I have people pushing me now, so that ought to help me a lot. Would you recommend my lessons to a family member or a friend, and if so, why?
I do constantly. Frankly, I do constantly. I tell people because everybody, if they see me playing or hear me talking about playing or whatever, they'll say, "Oh, I would love to play." Uh, and I'm bad with names. There was a famous pianist gave a beautiful concerto in Lincoln Center, and
Okay.
two of the women that listened came up to him and said, "Oh, I would do anything to learn to play that way." He goes, "No, you wouldn't, because anybody can learn to play that way." He says, "Just put in 7 hours a day for the next 15
Yeah.
years, and you can play it." Okay, but but I take that down 7 notches. I've told people, look, I'm not good. I'm not musically inclined. I'm this and that. I'm like, listen, you go to this website. You don't have to learn to read music. You don't have to play classical music. You pick out 3 songs you like that are on the easier scale, and this guy will get you going. It goes nice and slow, a measure at a time, and you will be able to have a little bit of fun at the piano. And then if you want to go more from there, fine. But I'm literally multiple times. I suggest your website to a rash of people. Full
Thank you.
stop.
My son just typed on the monitor for me. This guy's perfect. So the interview's going great for me.
Well, he don't live with me because I have him doing a lot more work. I tell you that much right now. It's
Yeah.
all good. No,
Tom, if
I
you
was
are
a managing
ever
director.
in the Waco area, if you're ever, I don't know if you ever find yourself here, going to Magnolia. I mean, it's a tourist spot now in Waco. Look me up. Come on, have a cup. I'll meet
I
you out somewhere.
definitely
Have a
will.
cup of coffee.
I've been to a couple of times this year, and I may go again too. But I have no. I've never left the airport of Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Is that anywhere near Waco?
Uh-huh.
Is it? I have no idea.
Oh, it's about an hour and a
No.
half. About an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a ride, but if I'm everywhere in Ecuador, I will bang you out. I'll send you an email. I'll tell you,
Yes.
let's go out. Maybe we'll get a duet going too, or so.
Yeah, we'll jam some. I got a whole thing here. Guitars, keyboards, drums, bass, everything. Sound system. It'll be
But
fun.
conversely, I'm much more likely if you do come into New York ever,
Okay.
and remember it. Give me a ping, man. We'll meet you in the city or whatever. Like
I have
a lot
several.
of people go to New York City.
Yeah. We're thinking we need to push. We're going to start trying to do conferences. So that may be something where we are able to travel around and do a conference and have members come around and play and jam and have couple of days of fun with
One
music.
thing I have seen, and this is one woman I work with now, and her class is pretty interesting. What she'll do is, and it can be catered to your style a little bit differently because she goes through a whole um, college like semester, 2 semesters to give you
Okay.
piano level 3 or 4, whatever. But one aspect of it I did like, and the reason I jumped in is you could say, hey, this month, you know, we're going to all work on pick 2 songs
Okay.
and let all your people upload the video of them playing the song,
Great idea.
and then you have a group Zoom call with 20 people. You know, can't be 200, too many,
Yeah.
but 15, 20 people, right? Where
Yeah.
you critique everybody, like you go through it and say, hey, you did really well, but you know, your elbows are too low, your arm, you move your right wrist a little bit more. It's almost, and it's like a group lesson where they've posted their work to you and you can kind of critique it together, and it becomes kind of a little community thing, and people work hard at trying to get it down right. It's just a thought because it does
Yes.
work
No.
in the learning process, you know.
Community is one thing we've been really, really trying to do. That's why I'm trying to reach out to members and everything. And it's been a
Yeah.
blast for me. You guys are awesome. Yeah. Everybody's so rich and successful, and it's just amazing
Yeah.
compared to me.
All good, man.
Well,
Well,
before we
great
leave,
seeing you.
Tom,
Great talking
have
to you.
you, did you do the
Yeah.
Google review? I can't remember if you've done that for me. Did you do that yet?
I did not do that yet. I have a
Okay.
very specific idea what I want to say. You've heard
Okay.
most of it, you know, and I'm definitely going to bang that out for you for sure.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It's supposed to help my search engine optimization, whatever that is. So,
It means that nobody could run a business in the United States of America unless they go through Google. That's what it means,
okay.
and it's a
That
fact.
sound now you're speaking a
It's
language
a
I
bad
understand.
fact. Yeah,
I
it's a damn
understand that.
bad fact. Unfortunately, it's a sad fact. And don't let me go deeper because with this,
I've heard
we'll
someone
leave it on a
say,
high note.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, we'll just drop it there. Thank you, Tom. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
I mean, I can go deep. So
I would like to,
uh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you later, Tom.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Be good. Good luck.
Bye-bye.